I'm Bonnie. Welcome to Tarot with Bonnie and Peter, where we take the mystery out of the tarot and help you bring this ancient practice into everyday life. In this podcast, we'll talk about life, tarot, and everything in between. So grab your tarot deck, get comfortable, and start your journey to tarot with Bonnie and Peter. Welcome to Tarot with Bonnie and Peter. I'm Bonnie, and today we are continuing our discussion as we have dinner with the Major Arcana card. So if you've been following along the past few episodes, Peter and I have each been shuffling just the majors and pulling out a major card. And based on the card that we pull out, we pretend that, what kind of answers would they give us if we ask them questions over dinner? Yeah. How are you, Peter, by the way?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm struggling to shuffle 4 cards, though, I have to say. Right? It's like
I thought we were down to 2, but I was like, oh no, we still have 4 more cards. 4. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes up.
It is. Yeah, because we still have the one card that I keep saying I'm dreading, but
And I told you I'd swap with you.
No. That's
you're going to keep it?
Not fair.
Okay.
Not fair. I will keep it.
Not fair.
And we're down to 25% chance. Well, I don't know. Would you like to draw first? Do you want me to do that or?
Yeah, it's up to you. I can draw first if you want.
Okay, sure.
I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chrisanne. Like I said, we're down to 4 cards. So I'm going to shuffle 4 cards. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, I'm going to pick the top one. I got the wheel. So in this deck, it's called the wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay.
Okay, it's coming out of mine. Down to 3.
Down to 3.
And I'm using the Luna edition of the Ethereal Visions Tarot by Matt Hughes. So I think other than one dinner, I think that's the one that I've been using. And
no way.
I got the moon. Oh, look.
You know what?
It was a 1 in 3 chance that
it was a 1 in 3 chance.
It's actually in this deck. It's a beautiful card. It because I always talk about part of the moon is about reflection and kind of that inner seeking. Although it has that mystery and intuition. But I mean, look at the card. Like if you think about somebody who's it really does have a very
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful and peaceful as well. Which I sometimes think that we forget about that idea of peace. That sits with the moon card. So no, I'm totally good. You
knew at some point you were going to get that card.
I knew it, and I appreciate that the tarot waited this long. The tarot that it knows what it's doing, so it gave me an opportunity to have other guests. And didn't save it for the big finale. So at least now we do know who our final 2 guests are going to be, though. So that's
right.
Right, that's going to be interesting. So stay tuned. Next time will be the Fool and Justice. We're just not sure who will invite whom. But that will actually be that's going to be kind of an interesting one. But so is this though, the Wheel and the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
really interesting energies that are going to come up today, right?
Well, and astrologically, we've got a card represented by Jupiter and then a card represented by Pisces, which has Jupiter as its ruler. So, that's kind of...
And my moon is in Pisces, so...
There you go. You're a Pisces moon.
Yes, you didn't know that? I cry all the time.
Right.
Like super emotional.
Yeah, because you're a Libra sun.
And
Pisces.
rising.
Libra rising, Pisces moon. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. See, and before I knew about the Pisces moon, I always thought, because I didn't really know so much about astrology, but I always knew I was super sensitive and emotional and watery. And I'm like, that's not Libra. So anyway, when I found out I was Pisces moon, I'm like, oh, okay, then that makes sense.
Yeah. But then so does because I always find, you have a very, I love your systemic approach as well to things like the tarot. And you talk about the additions of your meditation and whatnot. That is very much... Well, probably both Virgo or Libra rising and Libra sun. So, anyways, yeah. Let's move away. We move away from the astrology now.
We're getting excited about astrology now. Okay. Okay.
All right.
So the Wheel of Fortune and the Moon.
And the
so
moon.
that's who's coming to dinner tonight. If this is your first time joining us, we welcome you. We've been doing this series where now I'm going to ask Peter questions. He's going to answer as if he's the moon. Peter's also going to ask me questions. I'm going to answer as if I'm the Wheel of Fortune. Some of the first few questions are pretty playful. And then we get into a little bit more like soul type questions near the end. So we hope you enjoy this. And it's always interesting to see what's going to come out of this episode because we don't know what we're going to pull and we don't really think about it ahead of time. So
no,
we'll see.
We kind of do that I think we said we'd do that on purpose because we really do want to draw. And we've had some episodes where, you get, not that you get stuck, but the card kind of shows up and you sort of sit in one or two iterations or meanings of the card, and then you kind of forget to sort of broaden it. I don't know if that's nerves. I don't know if that's, a tunnel vision or what. And you just kind of work your way through it. So
And some of them are, I played the Hermit, and I think the Hermit for me was the hardest card because I was so stumped at a lot of the questions. But yeah, it's interesting what comes up. So this will be good. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Moon and the Wheel have to say. I'm going to pull my Moon out too, and then have that here with me. Okay.
Oh yeah, so I've actually done the same with the Wheel because the Wheel. I always find in this deck the Wheel. It actually looks like it probably is. The Grim Reaper holding the wheel. So it's
yes.
I guess it does sort of talk about that faded, you really don't control what's happening in the wheel, that it's whatever it happens to be. So
yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask you the first question.
All right.
Are you ready?
I am.
I'm only doing this on purpose because I'm like, oh, damn, where would the wheel go on vacation?
Well, of course, now that I know, I'm going, okay, where were the... All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Moon card. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Okay. So right off the bat, the Moon is going somewhere. So I'm going through my thought process, right? So the Moon...
Yep.
The Moon is going... So... ruled by Pisces or, Pisces association, lots of water. It's going somewhere beachy. It's all, I know exactly. So I know exactly. It's going to Molokai Island, Hawaii. That's exactly where the Moon is going. Molokai is hard to get to. As a matter of fact, I don't think you can get ferry service. I think you actually you may be able to take private boat. You have to fly. It's just, it's about 15 kilometers off the coast of Maui. And it is a very kind of small, remote island. Its beaches are gorgeous. It was on a list of places that we wanted to visit when we were in Hawaii. We never got there, but we loved the idea of the remoteness of the beach. And I'd be more specific. So as the Moon, I'm going. Look, I'm going to. I think there are several beaches on Molokai Island, so I'm going to one of the beaches. But I'm actually going at nighttime during a full moon. So that's where I'm going. So I always think too, the Hawaiian Islands themselves are exceptionally remote. I think that privacy and secrecy has sort of a moon-like quality to it. Impacted by the tides because again, it's a series of islands. It's peaceful, which again would be something that would link to the Moon. So yeah, I'm so glad. I was just like I think I've trained myself now with this thought process of sort of walking through it, and then more often than not, something's just popping into my mind. So yeah, Molokai Island, which, like I said, is in Hawaii. That's where the Moon. That is where the Moon's going.
That's super cool. I've never heard of that before, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, look it up. Yeah, it actually, there was a place, because we thought about going, because I got married on Maui Island. And when we went back, or when we planned to go back, we ended up going back because of the devastating fires that happened in Maui. They happened about 10 days before our trip. But we were booked to go on to, I think it's called the Molokai Island Retreat Center. and it scourged him. If I remember right, and that might have been at the time.
Retreat center.
Yes,
Hello.
it was actually, and it was, you're right, there you go. Hey, we were talking about tarot and meditation retreat. Maybe we need to host one there. But it was owned by women, which, well, again, there we go, very much like the moon. Anyway, so yeah, that's, it just clicked as I was kind of talking through. So I'm sure there would be other places. My wife is probably going to get really upset that I talked beach and didn't talk about the numerous beaches that are in Australia, but she'll at least be happy that I mentioned Hawaii, which is, where we got married. So, yeah.
Nice.
So there you go. All right. So to you, Wheel, if you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Okay. I'm going to go to an amusement park. So if I could think of an amusement park I'd like to go to, I'm probably going to say in Paris. Do they have I don't know if it's Disney World or Disneyland,
Paris,
but Disney Paris.
Yeah. Or Disney.
I'm going to say Disney Paris. So I say amusement park because I think for me, a lot about the wheel is about releasing control, right? It's we always have these, life is always changing. And when the wheel comes up, a lot of times it's changing in our favor, right? We can think about something as this stroke of luck or, coming into something really positive, but also being able to let go of that control. And amusement parks are kind of full of that, right? It's you want to go on the ride, but then you're scared and then you're trying to oh my God, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? But then you get on the ride and you might be afraid. I'm thinking of a roller coaster. You're going up the hill and you're oh my God, why am I doing this? Yeah. But then you go down and then after you're oh, that was amazing. Yeah. It was way better than I thought. And I think about that with the wheel. I think if we kind of just let go, focus on what it is that we want and let the universe bring us things in a way that we didn't think was possible, life opens up and things are magical. So, and in the amusement park, there's so many different things that you can experience. So I'm saying amusement park. I'm going to go Disney Paris, whatever it's called, and that's where I'm going.
And I even think of the circles or the wheels that are in amusement parks. Right? A lot of the rides, whether it's a simple Ferris wheel, the carousel, or even things I remember the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto in the summertime, which, as a kid would always signal, you're excited because it was the great place to be. And you're kind of disappointed because it always signaled because it ended on Labor Day Monday and you knew you had to go to school the next day. But I remember it was a ride called the Rotor, which was just a big circle that would spin around. And then all of a sudden the floor would drop and the force would actually keep back to the wall. Just all these rides that are exactly that. They're just wheels. All right. They're just spinning wheels.
Or even I think it was called the Himalaya or a Himalayan or something. And the guy would say, do you want to go faster? And then you would whoever was sitting on the inside would or on the outside would totally get crushed. Yeah.
Yep.
That was my favorite.
I know. I love that because the music was always just, it was nice and loud and, big thumping beats or, at the time I would have been was probably classic rock or, kind of 80s stuff. Yeah. I remember that, dude. You remember it was never, do you want to go fast? Was, do you want to go faster?
Yeah. And then everybody would scream. Oh, that was the best. Yeah. I love that.
It's great. No, I love that. Relinquishing control. And that's a great choice. All right. Am I okay? Can I ask you your next question then?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes, because I think that's how we go, right? First, second, and then, okay. So, Wheel, do you have a favorite book or movie you would recommend to everyone?
Okay. I'm going to go movie and I'm okay. Oh, my husband will love this. This is his favorite movie, Back to the Future.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I can,
right?
Yeah. I can understand why.
Yeah. So we're time traveling here. We're again, he doesn't know where he's going, right? He goes in the DeLorean and then it shoots him back, in the past. And then he's oh my God, now what? So I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say Back to the Future just for so many reasons, because it puts you in a situation where you're oh my God, what now? And, but he always makes it back, right? So it's like this, always these cycles
Yeah.
of change and how we keep coming around, and life is filled with ups and downs and sort of these adventures. So yeah, I'm going Back to the Future.
Yeah, even the title, Back to the Future, you have that cyclical, Yeah. Are you doing the trilogy, or is this just you just recommending, or is the movie you're recommending just the original Back to the Future?
The original is the best. We have all three of them, which we've watched many multiple times. And there's a new one. Is it out? It hasn't come out yet, or there's a musical or something.
So
anyway.
there is a theatrical that's coming out close to us. We were fortunate enough to see it in London when we went and visited some friends in the fall. It is phenomenal. And we were kind of like, really? Back to the Future is a theatrical production? And when it was done and when we came back home, because we know it's doing a Toronto run, I think might be starting soon, or I think it might be starting soon. We would tell everybody, say, look, you've got to go and see it. It might sound kind of hokey, but it was extremely well done. Yeah, it was extremely well done. I love that choice. I would never, that one it would have stumped me. I would have, I think every time I think wheel, I'm thinking, oh, well, it's something set in Vegas.
Okay.
Right?
See, I wouldn't have even thought of Vegas.
As the city of chance, but then I can't.
Yes.
Of course, now I'm stuck for a movie that's there.
Well, if you think of one, you can, let us know.
No.
But as the moon, you have a favorite. Oh, this one's going to be tough.
Yes,
I have one. If you don't have one, I have one for you. Okay, do you have a favorite book or movie?
Movie came to mind. I got two of them, and one just came to mind because of the title, and it was Moonstruck. I'm gonna go along the lines of kind of that whole blend between reality and fantasy, and I'm gonna kind of go and there's a real, I hate using the word weirdness to the moon, but the moon really does. Sometimes the moon is hard to comprehend.
What you're gonna say,
right? Are you sure?
Yes.
I mean, it was a popular movie, but it was an artsy movie, and it's about 20 years old.
Not. Okay, maybe not.
Pan's Labyrinth. So anybody is kind of and it was very much kind of dark fantasy. And so I'm like, all of those themes, that the dark, shadow, mystery, fantasy, even to the point that the main character, I can't remember. I think it's, I want to say Ophelia, but that's not quite right. So it's a Spanish movie. And it's actually set during the Spanish Civil War, and and sorry, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it is going to watch it. Although, how it ends, you're actually not even sure whether or not what sort of happened in the labyrinth is kind of a dream sequence or a fantasy sequence, or actually happened in real life. And I always think, that connects really nicely to the moon. She's existing during the 1930s in Spain, so there's a war that's going on, so her reality is pretty tough. And then she finds this world, this magical world inside this labyrinth in which she's given quests she has to do. So she has that sort of harsh reality versus this fantasy world again. The fact that the ending of the movie, and there are discussion boards everywhere, Reddit, talk about, what was the movie? How did it end? So yeah, that's where I was. That's where I'm going to go.
That.
I was thinking the movie one is, especially with this, because this is one where I thought a little bit ahead of time, because I was dreading the moon coming up, and it was this part where it was like I was thinking, oh, Moonstruck. I was like, although it doesn't necessarily fit the theme other than the title. And then this morning, as I was reflecting, and I'm like, I was putting, nerding out on a new board game I got, and some of the images, it's called Dracula's Curse, and the image, I was like, oh my God, Pan's Labyrinth. And I was like, Pan's Labyrinth, that's the movie. So I was like, I parked it in the back of my head. So that's why. Anyways.
That's great. Yeah. I was thinking when you were saying that, but even before that, I was like, oh, I know what I would say for this one. Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. And now that, of course, now I'm thinking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? that
Yeah.
whole, yeah, for sure. Alice in Wonderland would be, what a great choice that would be. And then, you even have, I'm going to say a tarot-based character, but, not necessarily,
Hmm.
with the queen,
Yes.
with the Queen of Hearts, which would be the Queen of Cups. And that sort of queen-like energy that would exist inside the moon too, that sort of, watery sort of space.
I think there is a
That's
tarot. Is
neat.
there not a tarot, an Alice in Wonderland tarot deck, or it might be an
Yeah.
oracle? Or is there?
No, I think there's an Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. I think you're
Maybe.
absolutely right. If not, there should be. Any deck creators out there that are listening, this is a story that would be primed for Alice in Wonderland.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Do I ask you next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Moon. What is your go-to comfort food? Oh, this one's hard.
This one is hard, and this is where I'm just gonna go with the name and talk about the dreamy taste of a half moon. Those little cream filled cakes
Yes.
that are there.
Oh,
I think that's a
I
cop
love
out
those.
answer.
I was like, no way. I was thinking moon cake, but
Yeah.
I like the half moon.
The half
Hello.
moon, just
I haven't
'cause
had one of those in years.
right in years. Neither have I. I think that's like a hostess kind of cake sort of thing. I wouldn't have there. And when they talk comfort food, it's obviously sometimes it's crap food that you should never eat. But just that that kind of soft and creamy filling. The fact that it's called a half moon, so which half is it? Is it heading its way towards a new moon? Is it heading its way towards a full moon? I don't know, right? I don't know. There's the mystery part of it as I'm grasping for straws. But yeah, I'll keep it plain and simple. My comfort food would be a Hostess half moon. No.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've never although like my mouth is watering thinking about
Right.
that, but reality, if I were to actually eat that, I'd be like, oh my God, this is so bad. Like it tasted good when I was 8 years old, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how good it would taste now.
and I always think, I think everybody has comfort food, but I do think it changes from time to time. Like, last night I told Cal, I was like, I'm going out, and I actually went and picked up one of my comfort foods. I did a run to our local ice cream shop, and I just needed, I needed a little bit of comfort, and that's where I went. Whereas there are other times where, a pizza, is kind of comfort food. And I've talked before about a beautiful hamburger from one of our local places, is kind of comfort food. So I think it changes. I think true comfort food changes, but for this one, half moon for sure. All right. So
Love that.
to the wheel. What's your go-to comfort food?
So I was stressed because I'm like,
I still am.
oh,
I got nothing to offer you here.
I got no, but you just said something. You said pizza. I'm like, hello, pizza. Pizza. I'm going pizza all day. And I'm gonna go like you're gonna order the pizza and you're gonna be like, surprise me.
Surprise me.
Surprise me. You don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to love it. And it's probably going to be something you never would have thought of. And you're going to be like, I never thought of putting that on a pizza, but I love it. So I'm going pizza. Thank you,
Okay.
Peter.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, because when you said pizza, I was like, okay, well, I guess it would have to be, or you'd be ordering one of those pizzas where it's like it's got a specialty name and you're not sure what toppings are on the pizza. So
Or something different, right? Like
Yeah.
I love ordering pizzas that are different. And like my favorite pizza right now, I even make it at home sometimes, but if I go to a restaurant and they have something like this, I love it. So it's like a white pizza, right? It doesn't have a red sauce.
I think so.
And it has arugula and prosciutto and like pears and like honey drizzle. And I probably put onions on it and hot peppers or like some hot pepper sauce, but like stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just like, it's not normal pizza stuff. Well, maybe it is in Italy, but like not what we think of when we think about pizza, but it's so good. So
that sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
my
And
mouth is watering.
I know I'm the
and
same,
I
and I'm
gotta
going,
go
okay, that
eat an
a
arugula
nice soft
pizza.
goat cheese goes on top of that with the drizzle of honey, maybe as well. I might be putting some kind of like pine nuts on there.
Mm,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know
Okay.
what I was going to make for dinner this evening, and now I do.
You can even get those like Nan flatbread things,
Yep.
and then you can use those as your pizza base.
Well,
Like
that
we
has
do
to be a
that.
gluten-free crust here, but yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I know exactly what I will do. So,
Yep.
all right. Could be
Okay.
comfort food. Could be comfort food night.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question is to you. If you could try any job for just one day, what would it be?
Okay, so thank you again. You like just by you talking, you helped me because I'm like, I don't know. I would be a like a blackjack dealer in Vegas.
Yeah.
Or okay,
Roulette.
I am not a gambler. Yeah, roulette.
Yeah.
Like the person. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna work at a casino in Las Vegas. Or no, I'm upping the ante. I'm gonna work at a casino in Monaco.
Monaco. There you go.
I'm going to Monaco and I'm going to work in the casino for a day, and I'll probably love it. So I might stay there for a few more days.
Yeah. And that's, I was like, oh, I don't think I'd had anything to offer you, but that's probably where I would go to, because you're dealing with, kind of games of chance, and you are really sort of letting fate determine, your outcome. But we don't want people to think that Bonnie and I are, telling you to go and gamble, right? If you're going to gamble responsibly. Know what's the tagline here in Ontario? Know your limit,
play within it.
Right, exactly. Know your limit, play within it.
Yes, and this is why I don't gamble, because I'm a chicken. So if I'm going to gamble, it's literally like $20. I'm like, I'm okay if I lose $20.
Yeah.
So it's like for entertainment purposes. If something comes from that, that's fine. But
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm the same. Oh, and usually only on the outcome of a hockey game. And very, very little money. Although funny enough, I've only been doing this for 2 seasons, and I know I'm ahead. I know I'm ahead because I will put $20 like you is max, and I will usually lose my money. But when I win my money, I actually win like, I think once I put $20 and I think I won $550, and it just comes into my account, and then I just use the money that's in my account. And it would be like, okay, this is my play money now. So my son gets frustrated with me because he's like, Dad, do you have a system? I'm like, I don't have a system at all. I just like, and I definitely lose more than I win. But when I win, because I'm taking some kind of a long shot, it's like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. So, anyways, that's it. I don't, we could get on a tangent about casinos and whatnot. And Vegas, I've never been as much as.
You don't have to go to Vegas.
I know.
Vegas is, but you know what? Not even for the game. Like I'm not a gambler. I've been to Vegas twice, and it's phenomenal. Like the shows and just walking around and going to all the hotel lobbies. Like it's literally like you're visiting all these different countries, because the hotels, there's like Paris, and there's Venice, I think, is the other one. Yeah. And then there's Caesar's Palace, like all these places that you can go, and it's super cool. So
I've got friends who are actually going this weekend because they have tickets to go and see the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere.
No.
Yes. So, I think if the Sphere look, I would love to go as well, right? Everybody. Right. Now, sorry, everybody. Now you have got a song going through your head. Yeah, but it would be the Sphere, I think, that would draw me. The right act, and I would probably be like, okay, all right, I'm going. But all right,
okay, Moon. If you could try a job for a day, what would it be?
Cop out answer. I probably have this job anyways, but I'm going to be an illusionist. Right. So
I love that. You could come work at the casino. I'd be working at.
That's exactly it. So I'm coming to work at the Wheel of Fortune's casino, and I'm an illusionist, making things appear differently, blending the lines between reality and fantasy, making people think, are things there? Are they not? So that's it. I didn't want to say magician because, again, we've got a card that would specifically be a magician. In this particular case, we definitely have an illusionist. So we've got, that's what the moon, and I say for a day, that could be what the moon does for a living, but if they're going to take a job, then that's the one they're taking.
That's great. I don't know what my job would be, but you came up with the most, and you're like, oh, this is a cop out. It's totally not a cop out. I didn't think about that. Like, I think that's phenomenal. Okay. Do you have any hidden talents or quirky skills?
So yes, I have a hidden talent. I find lost objects. That is what I do. I figure, the moon, part of what the moon can symbolize is the idea of uncovering secrets. I don't know if you can be like a secret uncoverer, but linked to that would be the ability to find lost objects. Again, under the veil of mystery, I don't let people know how I find them. That is completely a secret that the moon is going to keep. But if you can't find your keys, if you have misplaced your wallet, if, whatever object it happens to be that you have lost, I, as the moon, am the person to help you find that. And then I realized as well, the job that the moon could easily have had would have been private investigator if they were going to do that for a day, right? They could be a PI.
I love that.
Yeah. That would be, very different. Illusionist, like I said, is kind of obvious. PI, not so much. So, yeah, I'm the finder, as a skill, I'm the finder of hidden objects. No.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Again, I feel like the last two kind of a cop-out, but oh well. It is what it is.
It's not. It's totally not a cop-out.
What about you, Wheel? Do you have any hidden talents or quirky skills?
Okay, I have two answers because I thought of another one. And like you, I'm like, oh, I could have done this as my job for the day. So The Price is Right, spinning the wheel.
Goodness, yes.
So if my hidden talent would be, I'd spin that wheel and it would always land on $1 every time. But I'm like, okay, because then that could have been my job for the day. Like I could have been the host of The Price is Right. But for my quirky skill or hidden talent, I'm going to say tree pose in yoga. I can hold that for a very long period of time. So, which is funny because when we think about the wheel, we think about the wheel is always moving.
Yep.
But a really important part of that card is also staying in center, right? Like how can we still be centered and grounded when things are changing around us? And when we're doing yoga and we're doing balancing poses like tree, it's like finding that drishti, finding that point of focus where you can concentrate on that. Even though everything else is moving, you're still always centered and grounded. So I'm going like center of the wheel and I'm going like full on long time balancing pose, probably in tree.
Yeah.
And actually I think she's doing, in the card, she's actually in tree pose, which I just noticed that. And she's balancing on a wheel that's like probably turning. So that's even better.
That's brilliant. I would have never thought of that. And it resonates so nicely. One of those things that you often say that I now, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? There's a Bonnieism that is now going to put itself into my, tarot interpretation. So yeah, I love that. And we forget about that, right? That often the focus, on the center of the wheel is critical in this card as well. Nice job. That was you hit it out of the park with that one. That's fantastic. What have you got then for the next one? What's a song or artist that you've been listening to lately?
Okay, so this would be a cop-out for me. I'll just honorable mention this, Changes by, because I love David Bowie so much. But I'm going to go, because this is another group, if you know me, like, oh my God, I love Fleetwood Mac. I'm going to go Landslide.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because that's about changing, right?
Yeah,
growing up, getting older.
Totally.
I love that song. So I'm going Landslide by Fleetwood Mac with an honorable mention of Changes by David Bowie.
Okay. All right. That's going to be one heck of a playlist. This is where I would have gone different because I think I've mentioned this before. Probably multiple times about personal connections to cards and songs. This one, and this happens every time I see any iteration of the Wheel of Fortune, this song immediately goes into my head, which is what goes up must come down. And then, because it's just great horn line, like the song itself, Blood, Sweat and Tears, the artist. So I think a Canadian-American band, Spinning Wheel as well as the title. So that's...
Oh, and what's the one... Ah, I can't sing it. You spin me right
Night Round, Dead or
baby,
Alive.
right round. Yeah, there's another
Yes,
one.
and I think somebody remade that one as well a little bit. Did kind of a that's true too, right? Dead or Alive. Now we're jumping into the
Now
80s.
I like. They're all coming.
I
Okay,
know. But that,
awesome.
for me, that Blood, Sweat, and Tears, because the horn line is just iconic. Like it's, something I can't, I play keys. I'd love to recreate. We had a couple songs where we do, kind of a horn line, like Sledgehammer, and then we're just adding Walking on Sunshine from Katrina and the Waves, and it's got those nice horn blasts, but it really can never do it justice. There you go. Another card.
Another card.
Yeah, that's okay. Love that. Love those suggestions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now my mind is like, okay, I gotta like bring it back. Okay, Moon. What song or artist have you been listening to lately?
This one was easy for me.
Okay.
It might be the very first song I think I ever learned how to play on the piano. The Moon is listening to Imagine by John Lennon on repeat. Right? Because I mean, if you think about the song, it really is a song kind of questioning an alternate reality. Every line starts with a question, right? Kind of the what if, imagine all the people, like imagine there's no heaven, imagine there's this, imagine there's that. I just think it's, and it is such a dreamy melody as well that and it's actually relatively easy to play, but it has that, I don't know. I just think it holds all the elements of the Moon card, including that, that questioning of alternate possibilities and leading to what you hope is a better world, is a kind of better place. So that's that one. I don't have any other choices other than that one. I
have two.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You want to hear those?
I most certainly do. I most certainly do.
Okay, because I love Fleetwood Mac, I have to go Dreams.
Yeah, Dreams was one I was going to. I was thinking of as well. Why Dreams?
Well, just because of the word dream. I don't know that the lyrics of that song, if I actually think about the lyrics, if it really aligns with the Moon card. But when you think about the moon and dreams, right? And just because, and then I was already thinking Fleetwood Mac, I was like, oh, Dreams would be a good one for the Moon card. But the other song, so when I thought about this when I thought about the movie, right. Alice in Wonderland, I go White Rabbit, Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah. And Grace Slick's vocals. And again, right, you think about, and funny that you mentioned a song, so you mentioned two songs with an exceptionally outwardly female energy to them as well, right? So that fits really nicely with the Moon card. Oh, geez, White Rabbit. That's okay.
Singing it in my head.
I know.
In my head, I'm a fantastic singer.
Oh, I had a friend of mine way back when I was in university, and we would sometimes go to karaoke night, and probably because we were in our 20s and it was just cheap beer night. But she would go up and do an incredible version of White Rabbit. Like an incredible, like one of those ones where, and often you go to karaoke bars and you're like, it can sometimes be cringeworthy. This is one where like everybody knew it was coming. And they were waiting. They were waiting, right? And they knew when Shelley got up on the stage that this was the song that was going to be sung, and it was something else. And I think it's the only song I ever heard her sing. But did she do a great version? And now, of course, now that I'm thinking of ethereal kind of vocals as well, I'm thinking anything by Kate Bush, anything by Laurie Anderson. Like Bjorn, all of
Bjorn. That's
Bjorn,
what I was
right?
thinking.
Yeah,
yep.
All of that, all where the vocal style sort of fits the meaning of the Moon. I won't add all these to the playlist because the playlist is going to end up being, it's got to be coming soon because it's going to be a great playlist. People, stay tuned just for the playlist, which will, I imagine, come out shortly after the next episode, which will be our last episode of Now we had talked, would you want to do, because we had talked about an episode that we would do after we're done with the dinner guests. We want to kind of put a little teaser together now, or am I getting ahead of myself?
No, well, we have 2 more questions that we have to answer.
Do.
But Okay, yeah, we can throw it in now. Yes. So a wonderful listener, Beth, reached out to us and asked us our opinion on reversals and asked us if we actually had an episode about reversals. And we talk a little bit about reversals in a previous episode, but we're going to be releasing an episode talking about reversals, whether or not you should read them, the do's and don'ts. And so that's upcoming. So we just want to let you know that if there's something that you'd like us to talk about, or you have any questions, we love to hear from you. This gives us ideas on what we can bring to you. We do this because we love to talk about tarot. We love to share this knowledge. And if there's anything that you want to hear from us, we would love to hear from you. Do you want to add anything, Peter?
No, I was just going to say, and thank you to Beth for reaching out and what kind words about the podcast, and then asking us the question as well. So, like Bonnie said, we encourage you to do the same thing, because we could talk tarot all day long, but we definitely would love to get ideas from you as well, so that we can connect to the people who are listening, on a more intimate level, and talk about some of the things that you really want to hear about too. So, because like I said, we'll happily talk about anything about the tarot. If we can hit points of interest for you, then that's great. So yeah, look for that coming up. Okay. Now, where are we? Now I've lost track as to who's asking what questions.
Yeah. So do you want me to ask you, or do you want to ask?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right.
Okay. Moon.
Okay.
What pattern do I keep repeating, and why?
Okay. So what pattern do I keep repeating, and why? So if I'm the moon, I'm probably looking at the repeating pattern of uncertainty, mystery, confusion, that because the moon, is this, and I've talked about this myself, about, that level of uncertainty I have with the card. And it's kind of funny that the card itself almost has a level of uncertainty to it as well. So, we talk about, blocking and challenging, then, I would state, like the moon would state, that's what you asked, right? Was that idea of sort of a pattern? Did I catch that question correctly?
Yep.
Yeah. So, those patterns that, are kind of blocking or challenging are.
Oh, right. I think I was supposed to ask you what is blocking or challenging.
Yeah, that's where I was. No, go ahead. So I'll answer the question, because I got confused as I went back to refer to the question. I'm like, I don't think that's so ask me the question again, so I can answer the question without the question I thought. I'll answer the question you actually asked.
It is kind of similar, though. If we think about patterns and what's blocking or challenging.
You talk about the idea of repeating patterns, right? So the idea of repeating patterns, and where I was going is, it's a repeating pattern of uncertainty. So when we talk about the concept of the moon has that mystery element to it. So when we look at a pattern of uncertainty, we're questioning ourselves. And it might be this path or that path. Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Even the question I think that people ask, when, as early as the age of 3 and 4, do they like me or don't they like me? There's the pattern that associates the moon is often one of uncertainty, which then kind of leads down the path of confusion, which is also a moon, kind of a moon word. And then, I'll use an even heavier word, moon word, which is anxiety, which can sort of be the result of that repeating pattern. So, if the moon is answering that question, well, what pattern am I repeating? It would be a pattern that walks down the pathway of uncertainty, of allowing that level of, I don't know, that level of mystery to guide kind of where we sit. So, and because the question didn't talk about solutions, I'm not going to.
We'll talk about those after.
Talk about the next one, but it'll be I'll refer to solutions based on this particular question. So,
Yes, and thank you for that. And I apologize because I did ask you there. I mean, Peter and I kind of know what we're going to ask each other. Not that we're reflecting about that beforehand because we don't know the card that's going to come up. But it is funny that I accidentally asked you about a pattern that I keep repeating because you nailed it. It's like uncertainty. And even yesterday, right? Like as like entrepreneurs or people who are creative, we always have all these ideas. And then we're like, what do I focus on, right? And the tarot is such a beautiful tool to use to help you with that. So yesterday, my desk was full of cards of me like, should I do this or should I do that? Or what should I concentrate on, right? So you nailed it about the whole clarity piece. So I'm excited to hear what your solution is going to be for me. But thank you for that. And it is kind of funny that I inadvertently asked you the wrong question, but you gave me the answer that I actually really needed to hear.
Well, because you asked the question that you needed to ask, right?
Yes, exactly. So, okay. Thank you, Peter.
No, don't thank me. Thank the moon.
Thank you, Moon. For your wise wisdom
I was
and
going to
insight.
say the moon says you're welcome, but the moon wouldn't say it that. They'd have some kind of poetic, mysterious way.
Or they would just think it, and then you would naturally intuit it.
Correct. Now, I'm going to ask the other question. Is that okay? Because
absolutely.
What is blocking, challenging me right now? One, is guidance I would love to know. But it's kind of one of the two questions that I've got prepped here in my notes. So.
Okay, so as the Wheel of Fortune, what is blocking or challenging you right now? I would say your need to want to control something or to try to not predict, but like control something in a way that the outcome is going to happen in the way that you think it should, right? So if you're finding anywhere in your life right now where you feel like you're really like grasping, right? Because the wheel wants to move, right? The wheel is constantly in motion. And if we try to stop the wheel from moving, that's like resistance. We're preventing those changes from happening. And when we don't know what's out there for our best good or something that can come to us in a way, again, that we never thought was possible, we're stopping that flow. So think about, and again, you don't have to answer this here, but just food for thought. Think about things in your life, things that are happening right now, could even be your thoughts, right? Like, what are you trying to control because you think that you have to micromanage how it's going to happen? So I'm going to say release control. That's something I feel like that might be blocking you right now, is this need that you have to control something.
It's interesting. It relates to a conversation I had with a couple of friends not that long ago. And we were talking about, sometimes the best moments in life actually come from spaces and times of chaos, where we're actually not in control, where we relinquish control and these things happen in our lives that we weren't anticipating, but we were grateful for, or they take us on a path that was unanticipated, but was the path that we needed to take. So thank you for that. That was a very timely guidance from the wheel. So, okay. And then I guess the follow-up question is, what will support me to move forward? Okay.
So thinking about releasing. So when I say release control, it doesn't mean don't take action or don't do anything. I would say have like a desire. Like, we all have desires. We all want to invite new things into our life. We all want to receive, and that's okay. So I would say, think about like, what is your intention? What is something that you desire? And then focus on what it would be like to have that. And then take baby steps towards that, but without trying to figure out how you can control and manipulate everything, because taking action is important, because, you take one step and then like the universe takes 10 steps kind of thing. So as long as you're moving towards what it is that you want and being like, okay, I'm going to let this flow.
Right.
And, and I'm going to allow it to come to me as opposed to me really trying hard. Right. So I'm going to say, focus on your desire. Don't focus on the lack of having it, and still continue to take baby steps that are in alignment with what you want, not doing things that you think you should do to try to control the outcome. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's a visual that if I can share it, if I'm on the right path, it's almost like, I can see myself sort of sitting or floating in a river, knowing where the destination is going, but not being able to control the current, and being like, okay, you know, I know that this river is going to end at this particular point because that's my goal, but I'm kind of open to whether or not it bumps me against the bank, or, you know, it takes me on the right bank that has rapids, or the left one that's a little bit smoother waters. And I'm just going to kind of, you know, I say go with the flow or go with the current, knowing that my end point is X. Is my analogy work in the guidance that I'm getting? Oh, great wheel of fortune.
Well, great wheel of fortune. Thank you. Yeah, it's like, and sometimes we think we know what we want, right? So we desire a particular outcome. And then if we're kind of like, okay, I'm going to work towards this thing, but I'm open to something like that or better, right? When we're like, I would say like, I don't know, what kind of example can I use? Like making money, right? Like, let's just say you go to work every day, you have your 9-to-5 job, and that's the only way that you think you can make money. That's the only way that money can come to you, because you're just focused on, this is what I have to do. But if you can be like, okay, I go to work, do my 9-to-5 because that is how I make money, but I'm open to more possibilities, or I'm open to other opportunities. That's not the only way that money is going to come in. Then maybe there's other opportunities, or maybe you win the lottery, or maybe, you know, you meet somebody and they're like, hey, I have an extra ticket to this trip. Do you want to come with me? You know what I mean? It's like not being so fixated on only one way to do things, or only like you have to manipulate it to be in a way that's going to happen in the only way that you think is possible. I think what the wheel says, it's like broaden your horizon, focus on what it is that you want, but know that it can also come in a different way. Don't just be focused in one, like it can only happen this way. Or it's like, you know, when people are looking for a house and it's like, that's my dream house. That's the only house. I have to get that house. But it's like, there could be a better house out there that you don't really know exists. So it'd be like, okay, I'm going to still continue to look for a home. And if that's the home I'm supposed to get, perfect. But also be open to being like, oh, and you know, maybe your real estate agent is like, hey, this house hasn't even come on the market yet. But like, I know the owner and I can show you this house. It's kind of stuff like that, right? Like there's things that are out there, and unless you're open to receiving that possibility, then it can come to you, as opposed to just like, no, this is the only way. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. So my river analogy doesn't quite work, but I was, you know.
No, it does, because your river analogy could be like, oh my God, you come upon a campsite and people are having a party and they're like, Peter, oh my God, are you on Tarot with Bonnie and Peter?
Use my effort to go over and, yeah, okay. Or, you know, you see a fork in the, you know, in the river that you didn't anticipate as well. And it's like, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to I'm going to steer myself off into that direction because that looks interesting.
It is. It's following it's allowing the current to take you, as opposed to like paddling against the current. Sometimes what we want creates so much resistance because that's not in like alignment with us, right? So it's like, you know, sort of having that vision, but allowing it to come in different ways, or something could happen that's way better than you thought was even possible.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that
thank you? Yeah, no,
is that too woo woo? Is that too out there?
For me, no, definitely not. No, I appreciate the guidance. Thank you for answering that question. So,
you're welcome. It was a long-winded answer.
Okay, it was complete. And, I enjoyed that. Thank you.
So, Moon, with all of my uncertainty and issues on like having clarity, what would you recommend that would support me to move forward?
Mine is going to be exceptionally simple because I think the response is simple. It's the Moon card. It is trust your intuition. It is knowing. It's knowing that deep down you know. Right? Deep down you know. So you talked about, you know, I had all of this kind of stuff and all these cards out, or, you know, when you're thinking about what to do next, go with your gut. That's what the Moon says. The Moon, you know, is a card that tells us we know what we need at this time. What's important, though, and, you know, I'll add a caveat to it, is we need to be in that powerful time and space. So, you know, whether it's a creation of ritual space or sacred space, which again is another aspect of the Moon, whether it's quietening the mind, it's putting yourself in a spot where your intuition can work. Because it's one thing to say, trust your intuition, but if your intuition is surrounded by, outside noise and influence, then it's not doing it. It's in all likelihood not doing what it needs to do. So it's not only trust your intuition, but it's create that sacred space, create that power space linked to the moon that allows your intuition to work to its, to its potential. So that's.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, I needed to hear that, and often that's me telling other people that. So, for you to provide that information to me, and for me to be able to receive that is such a gift. So, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and the moon says you're welcome, because the moon, as much as the card is mysterious, the moon is also a reminder, because of where it also sits on the fool's journey. Like it's towards the end. We've gathered a fair amount of knowledge and experience once we've gotten to, kind of the card 18 of the moon. The moon says we know. We might not feel we know. We might not think we know, but we know. We just have to create the conditions that allow us to use the power of intuition. So,
yeah, I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. That's it, right? Those are all of our questions.
Yep.
Okay. So then let's finish off by, Bonnie, tell people, where can they find you? What have you got going on?
Okay, thanks, Peter. The best place to find me is on my website. Well, you can go to the tarotwithbonnieandpeter.com website to learn a little bit about me and Peter. All of our episodes are on the website. There you can find a link. You can click and go to my personal website, which is breathewithbonnie.com. If you are curious about the tarot and you're interested in taking a deeper dive and learning about yourself on the journey, I offer a mentorship program. Or if you're just interested in having a consultation and see what messages are waiting for you now, then I offer that as well. So all that information is on my website. So thanks, Peter. Where can people find you? What do you have going on?
PeterWhiteTarot.com or tarotwithbonnieandpeter.com, which would link to my site. Always the best place to find me. A couple of things I'll mention. One is, you mentioned the word consultation. I don't think I've talked about, consultation work often. You're often talking about my courses and seminars, but I also do consultation. As a matter of fact, I think, I know that some of my current clients are listeners on the podcast. So if you're, if you connect to the style of, I always think, the podcast is a great way to determine, a connection. Because I think if you're going to go into the intimate space of a tarot consultation, you want it to be with someone that you at least, kind of feel that tarot connection. So if that's you, then please, by all means, pop down to my website and book a consultation. I have lots of options, a 45, a 60, and a 75-minute option, which are, different time and price points. The other thing I'll mention is the Cards of Leo, which I recorded live earlier this month. We're just right in the heart of Leo season. So if you're wanting to find out how astrology and tarot connect, then it's not too late actually to go and check out the Cards of Leo seminar. And if you keep an eye on my social spaces or on my website, you will soon see a deal that will allow you to sign up for both the Cards of Leo and the upcoming Cards of Virgo at a very special price. And, when I talk special prices, my webinars cost no more than $27 Canadian, which for those of you who are listening in America or in the UK is an absolute bargain. It might be 18 pounds in the UK. It might be $20 if it's, if it's that, to go and have a listen. And they're chock full of all kinds of information. All the webinars are 90 minutes in length. Plus, they also include, Q&As on my private YouTube channel. If you've got any questions about it, that's what I would say. So PeterWhiteTarot.com or tarotwithbonnieandpeter.com. tarotwithbonnieandpeter.com is also a great place to go to listen to our podcast, to leave us a review or a like, to reach out to us with any ideas. And what I'll state now, since I've got the microphone, is I'll remind you that, by sharing, by liking, by commenting, by engaging, you actually help the algorithms, put this podcast in front of more people. So if you like what you hear, if you like what we're doing, we're 57 episodes in, we're not going anywhere. By all means, please, let us know. We love to hear from you. We'd love for you to get the word out, about what we're doing here. Share it with tarot people. Share it with people who you think might be interested in the tarot, who have, are open-minded around, around some of these things. So I'll add that. And then, maybe I'll turn things over to you, Bonnie, to sign us off and
sign us off. Thank you, Peter. And we want to thank you so much for listening. Again, we love to talk about tarot. We love to put this out there. So we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So we appreciate you. And happy shuffling on your tarot journey. And we will see you next time on Tarot with Bonnie and Peter. Bye.